Welcome to Journey at Zero Zeros. I'm Andrew Kuan. I'm born in year 2000, and this year I lost my mom to an accident. I broke up with my girlfriend after 5 years of relationship, and I'm going to be unemployed end of this month. Don't sympathize me. This is not the reason why I said all this. The reason why I do this is because this is what Journey or S Zero Zeros is all about. We already have all these fancy lives across social media. You see the best lives of everyone, but no one have honest conversations about what we are going through, especially as Gen Z right now. It's a confusing times. I believe many people are struggling, they're confused about what they're doing in their lives. So this is what Journey as Zero Zeros is all about. We are gonna sit down, talk to people, talk to other Gen Zs, and understand what they're going through and share this story with the world. Yeah. But obviously, yeah, it is quite heavy when I shared the three main topics. They are real. Definitely it wasn't easy for me to do that again. So yep, let's start from scratch. Let me give you guys an introduction of myself before we go back into talking the three main topics that happened this year. So yes, I'm Andrew. I'm from Malaysia actually. I'm born in year 2000, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I grew up there, spent most of my life there, and yeah, I attended university in 2018 in University of Nottingham. I spent like my first 2 year there, and then I was heavily engaged in like entrepreneurship, bringing entrepreneurship to students, and I studied computer science actually, but I'm honestly not that good at programming. I'm not my interest as well. So in year 2000, when COVID struck, I started my own company selling refurbished computers. A year later, I sold my company, mainly because I realized I didn't know how to grow it further. So I decided selling it would be the easier way, and then continuing my study in the UK would be better. The usual path. You graduate there, and then you might get a better job there. So yeah, I went to the UK. It's during, I think, this year itself, the year when I'm heading to the UK, I started a podcast as well, which I did with my ex, called Ink Thoughts. I'm no longer part of it, but feel free to check it out. It's quite interesting. And then I did some YouTube as well. I've since stopped doing that as well. And yeah, I spent a year in UK completing my study. Year later, graduated. Luckily, I got a job in Meta, but the thing is, I will be leaving Meta this year after working for almost 2 years. We'll talk about that later. But basically, that's my life. I've been staying in the UK for almost 3 years now, but loads have happened this year. Loads have happened. First thing first, my mom passed away earlier this year. Unfortunately, very very sad times. But yeah, why not? Since I've done with my introduction, I'll hop right into my mom's passing. So yeah, it was first thing first. Let me talk about my relationship with my mom itself, because it's a bit complex. It's a bit complex. Yeah. If you ask me to talk about my mom, I'll say that I was very close with her when I was young. I think before high school, she's someone that definitely I'll prefer her over my dad because she's like, dad is like the very very strict figure that doesn't share much about life, and then my mom is someone that's more nicer, that will listen to you, more jokes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's the main reason why I go to her. But it's when I started going high school and all that, I noticed that she is a bit different, because I think high school is when you're more exposed to different kind of ideology and all that. You start to build your own personality, identity, and all this, like stronger personality and identity. That's when I realized that she is a bit controlling in the sense that
She wants things to be more on a way she liked. Yeah. So that's where we find conflict. A lot of conflict happen when I was in high school, and then it went all the way university, and even yeah, even actually university. Then after UK, we because of the distance, we didn't have much conflict. Luckily, if we had conflict, that would be terrible. So yeah, that was that. But mainly what I realized is that she had a troubled childhood, unfortunately. Yeah, her family, her upbringing wasn't the best. My grandpa and my grandma wasn't in a very good relationship as well. That's what causes this kind of fracture in the family itself. So she's very, very emotionally unstable, and sh the her mindset and all. She's a very good mom. I would say that she did the so-called the mom task very good, but just her herself, personality wise, there is some problem with it. Yeah, so very emotionally unstable. She is very stubborn, and she wants things the way she wanted, strictly. And yeah, she doesn't listen much to people, doesn't empathize to people, and yeah, that's basically it. That's where most conflict arises. Yeah, yeah. So that's like I remember there was like one biggest conflict ever where I actually did not. I'll have to say that, and I inherited some of her personality as well, which is something which I'm trying to unlearn right now. And but I remember, I think it was I was 16 years old. I I remembered, it was just a very, very, very tiny thing. So that day, I think she left the phone back in our house, and yeah, and then she called back and then asked me to find it. I tried finding it. I really couldn't find it, even though it was just in the kitchen. And then when she came back, she realized that she was very first thing, because she realized it's in the kitchen, and then second thing, she was back, she was cooking, she did not ask for my help. Obviously, okay, perhaps maybe I should have helped, but she never asked for my help. And like that was the usual thing that I've done. I like It's not like we always help to cook together, but she never asked for my help. And then and yeah, the end of the day, when I went upstairs to the dining room, she just burst out and shouted at me, saying that, "Oh no, you did not put in the effort to find my phone. You did not." And you did not come and help me and all that. Obviously, we can notice a problem that there was uh, there was wrong. Like, you shouldn't expect people to do the way you think, and of course, there's no clear communication. But that was like one of the like it happened. Like, things like this happen very often. But like that time I was 16, I was really mad, and yeah, I stopped talking to her. Okay, before that we did some argument. She's saying that, if you don't want to do just do things yourself, cook yourself, wash your own clothes and all that. I said I'll do that, and then at the end of the day, because usually what I do in my household is that I will wipe the dishes dry. We don't have dishwasher in Malaysia. Usually it's not a normal thing in Malaysia. So we would like wipe our dishes dry and then put it back into the drawers and all that. So when I was like drying the dishes, and then I was like shouting, like going into a room and tell her that, if you want me to do my own things, then you should wipe your own dishes as well. That caused another conflict and all that. It was a really tough time for my dad. My dad had to come down and then just like, I was like, what's happening, why is this happening? He is very understanding. He didn't just come, like my dad, luckily he didn't just come down and shout at me and all that. He clearly understand that it's not truly my fault. But of course, that part where I talk about the dishes and all that, it's my fault. I'm just like adding oil onto the fire to make it worse. Yeah. But basically after that, I ignored her. Because like usually after this she would ignore me, so that's what I learned. Very bad thing, you shouldn't do that, but I ignored her, and then that continued for like months because I'm just um so fed up with this situation where every time something happened, it's not our fault, and then she just ignores us for like weeks, and then we just have to stand that and somehow admit that it's our fault in the first place. So I just let that went on for a very, very long time. She like then she came to me, and then she got of course she stopped ignoring me. She initiated, but then that was my like this was my longest lasting ignorance, that she'll come to me and then try to be close to me. But I am just so I feel like there's a need for me to detach from this. And again, she shouted at me and all this, um, like asking like why do I still want to ignore her? It's like, yeah, a lot of things happen. I don't really remember what got back, but okay, that was a long story. But basically, this kind of shows her personality and all that. Yeah, things did change, like got a lot better. Like there was even worse things happening during COVID because I was running my company, and then she wasn't. She just, yeah, that's just she's just emotionally unstable. Yeah, yeah. Like so, it's hard for both of us to get along after I realized there's things that I want to do myself, and then when I tell her, she just wouldn't. Instead of giving support, she'll criticize and all. So yeah, not someone that I would go to. Yeah, but yeah. So obviously, like it was sad. Like this year when it was March, my dad and my mom went on their first like trip together. Because previously, uh, like whenever they went on trips, it's together with me and my sisters. It would be all of us together. It would be family trips and all that. So that was the first trip that they went alone, and yeah. And during the trip, they went Nepal hiking, hike one of the mountains. I'm not sure what mountain was it. So they went hiking, and unfortunately, when they went to the peak, which is amazing, they took amazing photos. I loved it, and yeah, when they were descending, suddenly my mom fainted, and they rushed her. It wasn't an easy process because like they're still like right somewhere on the mountain itself, so they have to. My dad was with her. They took a jeep all the way down into the hospital in the nearby town, and yeah, it was confirmed that she has passed away. It was. I am not sure about the exact cause, but it is I think a blood vessel within the brain itself, where it just ruptured. And yeah, usually when that do, people like there's from the people, like one of the hikers together with them was a doctor, and then she said that usually when people identify this as a risk, either you will just take a very high risk operation where you might be paralyzed if it fails, or you just, if it succeed, then you live a great life, safe and all that. Or people just decide that not to take the risk and just live happily. So it's basically hard to be identified as well. So unfortunately that happened. Yeah, because of that, I had to go back to Malaysia. I haven't been for almost 2 years. Went back, unfortunately, couldn't like originally in August we are going on a trip in Austria. Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen soon, and it was honestly for me definitely it's sad. Like even when I'm talking about it now, I can feel like definitely that there's some regrets in me. Yeah, yeah, that time was particularly hard for me because I think I was the first in my family to know. My dad told me first. It was a very random call from my dad. Like my dad rarely called me one to one, and then I was just very weird, and I got that news. It was quite trouble for me, and I realized I have to tell my sister. So my dad was in Nepal, and then I have to fly back to Malaysia first before he arrives, because my dad was doing all the processes to make sure that the body can be shipped back to Malaysia together as well as early as possible. I have to go back to Malaysia, and then I have to pass this news to my sister. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It was harder for her. I can totally imagine that, because I've been living on my own for like the past 3 years, and then for her, they've been like, it's like my mom is totally part of my dad's and my sister's life, so it would definitely impact them a lot more. So yes, yeah, I broke the news, and to them it was not an easy time. I spent 2 months in Malaysia together with my dad and my sister. Yeah, basically trying to adapt, try to like, hopefully it can help them adapt to a new life, like a life where my mom isn't there anymore. Yeah, but yes, that's like, honestly, if you ask me about my emotions, definitely I feel sad, like to this day and all this, when I think about it, like, yeah, when I see my mom's picture and all that, I'll know that she's no longer there. She's like, yeah, so I can't meet her physically and all that. But honestly, personally, I would think that it is a blessing for her. Like, definitely, we wouldn't want her to pass away so soon. It's quite she's quite young, I think just 50 something. But because, or the reason why I call this a blessing is that she was able to, she passed away doing something she truly loved, and yeah, in a place where she liked, because she's someone that really loves hiking, and then she loves nature and all that. So I find that if it's a true blessing if you're able to just end your life naturally while doing something you truly love at a place that you actually like. Yeah, yeah, that's what I think. But if you were to ask me if we have known this would happen, would I ask her to go on a trip? Personally, I would say yes. Like, what's life if you don't do something magnificent? Yeah, so definitely it's up to her. But if she was gonna ask me for any advice, I would say, yeah, go ahead. I think life is it's meant we are meant to live a life. Yeah, there's no reason to have a life where you just live every day mundane. So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, that's so basically that's it. That's it for my mom. Yeah, my mom's passing. Like, unfortunately, she passed away. And actually, I'm gonna have a small project about her soon, which I'll be launching on Instagram. It's mainly about her painting. She loved paintings and all that. I'll share that in the future when the project is gonna is like happening. Yeah. So now it's just like in a planning phase. Yeah. All right. So now that that's done, let's move on to second thing, which is my breakup. 5 years of relationship. I broke up last month, actually last month. But actually, in fact, the conversation has been going on since December last year. Yeah. But yeah, TLDR, we've been together for 5 years since like 2019, early 2019. We've been together for 5 years through COVID, and then I got her to the UK as well, thinking that we might be able to have a life together after that. Like literally that time it was true love when I think about it. Of course, disclaimer. No one is at fault in this relationship. We don't blame anyone else, and of course I'll talk about the reason why I break up as well. But yeah, I brought her to the UK, and then we spent, yeah, almost 2 years now. Like, okay, 1.5 year living together in the UK. But after the first year, it's I wouldn't blame living together, but I think it's the main thing is, 5 years in, I honestly start to think about, long term, thinking about long term into the future. You think about marriage and all that, settling down and all that. But it's there where you realize, because of more interaction, like knowing about each other more while you live together, you realize that the personality and our vision just doesn't align. Doesn't align. Yeah, it just doesn't align. And definitely, and then you start to think about it, is it someone I want to spend my rest of my life with? And the answer is no. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the answer I got. Like I asked myself, and then the answer I got from myself is a no. Yeah, but honestly, I haven't been that honest with myself. I had that thought as early as December. That's why I initiated the first time. It was very awkward. It was Christmas Eve, and then I initiated that early in the morning. We got it then, like, because it was Christmas Eve. Who wants to ruin Christmas Eve? Christmas Eve, next day is Christmas. It's so amazing. Yeah, who would want to ruin that? And then we had a good afternoon after that. We talked about it. We have a good afternoon, but at night I realized, no, it's still not right. Like, our personality, our vision is just not right. And then we were invited to a friend's dinner, and we were arguing, and then we were late. Our friends were asking us, like, are you guys okay? Why are you guys not here yet? Then I just decided, why not we bring this conversation over there, and then we'll ask them for their opinion. It's a very selfish situation, like they're just purely, we're just gonna have a dinner, and I'm bringing this to them. After the whole the whole dinner, the conversation was like, yeah, we should probably break up. But before the night ends, because the funny thing is that Christmas Day I organized an event inviting many of my friends over, so there's gonna be an event. Yeah, but before the night ends, she asked me, like, okay, give her a chance and give her 3 months, and she'll try to work out plan, change and all that. And then she asked me to think about it and let me know. Doesn't have to give the answer so soon. Just let her know after that. Yeah, I thought of it. Christmas was obviously happy and all that. Now that I look back, it's because, when you are happy and all that, you just like, when people are happy, people are excited, people just make irrational choices. Yeah, so that night I agreed to this request, and then we went on. I decided to go on. Like, okay, there's multiple reasons. Like, first thing first is, like, we've been together like that time was almost 5 years, not 5 years yet. I was like thinking, it's almost 5 years. Let's not waste all the time we've been together. Second thing is that we've had so many trips planned together. We have a trip in March. We have a trip. We have kind of like the Olympics trip planned together, and then we have, like, the Vienna trip originally should be included as well, because we are going to watch Coldplay concert over there. I was like, like. It's very stupid now that I look back. Like, obviously, if you want to break up, just break up, and then, like, we can sort out the trips later. I was just thinking, I don't want to waste those trips because it'll be awkward and all that. And I don't want to waste the money side of things. Yeah, but so yeah, we went on, but it went on until January. Something happened again. It's always the small things, but the small things that just reminds us of how incompatible we are. It was okay. I promised her, give her 3 months. It was between the 3 months. That's my fault, and I requested for a breakup. We broke up. But honestly, that time, I didn't want to break up as well. I was just I wanted to take this chance as a way to that's truly my fault. I wanted
this to be a way where hopefully she will finally, change and all that. Yeah. So I just wish that she'll change. To her credit, she did improve a bit, but um, the improvement is truly insignificant. But I just wanted to be like get back to the relationship. So like, I think less than a month later, I was the one that initiated. Should we get back together? It was because same thing, 5 years together by that point, and then yeah, like a lot of financial stuff. Because personally, I am very how do I say? I'm very calculative, and then definitely I think that it's more worth it to be a couple, saves more money, and then we have all that trips planned together. Yeah, so that's what happened. Um, then after that, we went on a trip to Tenerife. We went back to Malaysia because then my mom passed away, and then I came back. Many things happened again, triggered me multiple times on how incompatible we were. And finally, this time around, I learned that we can't go on like this. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. Yeah. And it's not about her changing, willingness to change and all that. It's about time as well. Like first thing first, like us changing ourselves. It's hard for someone to change, even when we want to initiate change ourselves. That's hard. Second thing is that I don't know, like first thing, because it's hard for us to change ourselves. Like imagine someone else, like it's not within our control. We can't do that. We can't just force them to change. If it's incompatible, then we should leave. Yeah. Second thing is that really I don't have much time left. I'm at the stage where I realize no, I don't think I want to go on with this relationship anymore. I think I want to start meeting new people and all, and I don't want it to end up at a point where I met someone interesting, and I have to cheat her. I actually cheated her to get into this new relationship. That's why I think that it's just proper for me to exit this relationship, and yeah, like start my whole new chapter. Yeah. I honestly I'm not like I'm very surprised, like thinking back of the two previous experiences. Those are like I'm really clinging onto this relationship. I believe it could work. I hope she would change. Yeah. So like, but that time I realized, yeah, I am ready to walk out of this. I need a change, and I don't have the time. I want things back in my own control again. So yeah, that's why I broke up last month. About the travel thing, honestly, they're not sorted. Like now that I realize it's so easy, I'm not sure why I had this concern early into like when I was breaking up the first two times. After that breakup, we went Norway, and then upcoming where Norway was still a bit awkward. Some parts we are staying together, but obviously we try to sleep separately, as separate as possible whenever you can. We went on separate itineraries if possible. That was my idea, and yeah, upcoming Paris Olympics. I think I think except like transport, because we booked together, so we might sitting closely. Other than that, only like in the stadium itself where we bought tickets to badminton, we'll be sitting together. Otherwise, we'll be separate. Our comms will be separate and all that. Yeah, even the Austria trip, like apparently she's going, so she'll just take the ticket, but she's not involved in my whole family trip anymore. Like things are easy. Like I'm not sure why I made it so hard and all that. Yeah, definitely. I would just say that I'm not going into the details on why this relationship didn't work out. There's a lot of things in it. I'll just say that personality and our vision just doesn't match. And obviously, when I think through, it's just not someone that I want to spend my rest of my life with. If you guys are interested in the full story, comment below. Let me know. Perhaps in the future, we can have a full episode talking about it. Yeah. So that's why I broke up after this 5 years relationship. Yeah. All right. 2 things down. Yeah, many things happened this year. It's truly spectacular. No, not spectacular in a magnificent way. It's obviously sad, but a new refresh, a new refresh. The final thing. Yeah, I'm going unemployed end of this month. End of this month. Yeah, my contract is ending with my contract with Meta is ending. So I was lucky that I was able to join Meta back in 2022 when I first graduated. But honestly, when you ask me, okay, definitely most of, like, I would say around 70% of my more than that, 80 or 90% of my time in Meta, I was very confused. It just sounds truly amazing, that I'm working in Meta and all that. But honestly, it wasn't. Okay, not entirely Meta's fault, but not entirely my fault as well. Okay, the reason being, when I first joined the team, they are a startup that was originally bought by Meta, so they had the freedom to operate independently within Meta, but because of a failed launch, we are stripped of our own marketing capability, which I originally joined for, and the marketing team was originally just me and another manager. So because of that manager decided to leave, leaving me pretty much jobless. I had nothing to do within that period of time. I remember, I think I have like around 6 months where I really have nothing to do, and then I was asking the head of the team that we're in, and then he just said, just treat it as a time to relax, But for me, especially it was 2022, it was a time where there's a lot of layoffs within the tech industry. Even the time when I was waiting for my offer, I was so worried because news about layoffs are already coming out. They are already freezing hiring and all that. It was really scary. So like the lead of the whole team telling me, just take your time, just relax. It's basically telling me that you don't need to do anything, and maybe one day if we realize we don't need you, we might just let you go. Yeah, that was like the scariest part is when you just graduated, you have nothing to do. You like even with the salary, what are you like? The uncertainty is the scariest part. Uncertainty was the scariest part. And at that time, my contract was just a year, and then it was supposed to end last year. So there was nothing happening. But luckily, that team lead adopted me, and then I went on working on various things, hopping on different teams, working on different things, and then my contract got extended, and then he did ask me whether I want to get a full-time position in Meta itself. Obviously, who doesn't want that? Okay, now I wouldn't want that, but like most people would want that dream job, like, oh my god, working in Meta, the benefits, the pay, like prestigious names and all that. Who doesn't want that? But yeah, that time I really wanted that as well. But many things happened. So it was actually earlier this year that I decided, no, I am not taking that offer. I don't want to take a permanent full-time offer again. So it was interesting, like multiple things that made me realize about this. So first thing first is definitely the January breakup. The January breakup made me realize that because if I'm not in a relationship anymore, I don't need to think about the long term anymore. I can start doing what I truly wanted, actually wanted, which is even though I've been studying computer science and all that, I'm passionate in technology, but not in computer science, not in programming and all this. That was never my passion. My passion has always been in the entrepreneurship industry, startups and all that. That's why I participated in this entrepreneurship society, and then I started my own company and all that. So yeah, that was my passion. I realized that. So I think I should really go into that. And another reason why I realized this is that I like, in like software engineer and all that, to get a role, you have to go through all these interviews, coding questions. I did a lot of that, and then it was just really, really, really tough for me to push myself to do all this. Yeah, I understand there is unfavorable processes in order to get some favorable goals, but it was really, really, really hard to push me into doing them. So it's really not something I wanted. So that prompted me to tell my manager that, yeah, I'll just work until my contract ends, and yeah, I will leave the company. Yep. So basically, I mean, like, the thing is that the contract wouldn't be renewed anymore, because like they have a limit on how long a contract can be, and then there have to be a break before you can get another contract again. So either way, I have to leave. So I decided, I'll just take that period of time to actually focus on, like, this period of time between telling my manager until the contract end, to actually figuring out how to get there, how to find a job that I actually want. Yeah, but of course, obviously, like, that was before my mom's passing, and so after my mom passing, I went to Malaysia. Multiple things happened. That manager, like that team lead that became my manager, left as well. So it actually, I had the thought to just leave the company, because I didn't like the new manager. Uh, yeah, the like, there was multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is that I feel like he's just not empathetic at all. Yeah, I remember telling him that my mom passed away, and then actually during the period when I was in Malaysia, unfortunately my grandpa passed away as well. So these two things happened, and then I told him about it, and then he's just telling me, okay, can you let me know when will you be back to work, because I have to know your availability. That just felt so cold, and felt like I really wanted to leave the company. But I stayed on. I stayed on because I realized honestly, the workload is getting less and less, because they know that I'm gonna leave, and especially the thing which I was originally in charge in is getting depreciated. So I decided to stay on. Why not utilize the salary and the time itself to work on finding my new career, which I'm planning to break into either incubator accelerators. Basically, these are organizations that helps founders to build a company, yeah, and or like venture capital, which is it's companies which mainly fund startups to help them grow and all this. This is where I'm looking into, and yeah. So was it a week ago? 2 weeks ago, I had this idea of starting this podcast, and I just executed it. I'm very happy that I was able to um, do everything and launch it within 2 weeks. So I hope, yeah, I hope that I'm doing this something that people actually want and enjoy, and I would love everyone that's listening to just be part of the community. Let me know how to improve, and let me know what else you want to listen to. But okay, back to this thing. Unemployment. So yeah, going to unemployed soon. My contract's ending, I think, next week. Next Thursday will be my last day. And honestly, right now the job market hasn't been good, and especially me as an immigrant in the UK, it's hard. Recently, I've been working really hard, talking to many people that I cold message on LinkedIn. Even actually, in fact, today I just talked to one, which is really, it's very nice that they just decided to have this conversation with me. And, I can ask them about what do they do daily and all that. Understand what is the better way for me to prepare to break into this career. So yeah, I had a lot of this conversation, and I am preparing myself, like definitely doing interview questions, learning more about like investing in startups and all this, and yeah, hoping that eventually I'll be able to break into this. And in fact, I am moving down to London in September. I'm moving down to London in September because it just makes sense for me. First thing first, I've always wanted to live in London, and then I like basically like the financial activities are all focused in London itself. It's better for me to be there, join the events, join networking events to get to know more people and get more connections to learn more about the industry itself, and possibly that will help me to eventually land a career inside the industry itself. That is basically what I'm doing. Like, if any of you here are in the VC industry, in financial industry, and all that, and you can offer me any connections, I'll greatly appreciate that. Like, okay, I'm working in Meta. I worked on Llama 2, cutting edge AI model. If you need help on that, feel free to contact me as well. I would love to help. In fact, like a few days ago, there was a student that just contacted me and asked me for some help because she's trying to enter Meta. So I offered her help. Like, I mean, like, um yeah, why not? Like, we do whatever we can. Like, the reason why I'm doing this podcast is hopefully I can let people know that, um, like, me working in Meta is not as fancy as it sounds. It was terrible. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, if you ask me, I almost felt like I never learned much in it. Of course I did, but compared to someone with a clear project, a clear path in a company, I definitely learn a lot less than them. That's why another reason why I decided to start this podcast, because I started one before. I want to improve on it. I want to it's basically one of my portfolio as well, showing what I'm able to do and all. Yeah. So yes, I think that's it for my unemployment part. It's a lot of uncertainty. I am questioning myself because living in London is very expensive. And I'm questioning myself, should I really, full time working on my podcast and then like doing all this job search, meeting people, or should I, really find a job, even if it's like a cafe job, a jobs in Starbucks and all, just to make sure that I can able to maintain myself. I can maintain myself financially for like the next 6 months in London, but the question is, like, should I make myself better where I'm not spending my savings? And I have all these questions in mind as well. Like last week, my dad just asked me about that, and then yeah, I was telling him like I think um, I will focus on this job search first, because I think what I have in mind right now, like same to the relationship thing, I think there's no rush. I think it's more important to find the right one right now. Yeah, so yeah, I'm giving myself a year to live in London, and basically that's my limit because definitely it's expensive. And yeah, I'm giving myself a year, live in London. Hopefully, I'll get a great outcome right there. Yeah. So, whew, yeah, that's it. That's the three main topic that I talked about. In the beginning, it was really heavy. Like, I never expected it to be so heavy when I'm like spilling that out. Actually, that when I recorded this time, it's the second time. So before this, I recorded a test one, a very short one, and then when I was reading out that three topics that I'm gonna discuss, I felt quite heavy. Like, definitely, it's not easy for me to go through or decide like an unemployment part, which is something, actually no, relation, the breakup and the unemployment part is something that I made the decision. It wasn't easy as well, so it was a tough one for me as well. um right now I don't have, I mean, breakup is a breakup, what can I do about it? But an unemployment, yeah, there's like I'm still navigating through that. I'm not sure how would that go. So yeah, yeah, like I'm just as clueless as most people. So yeah, I believe like I understand that many of my juniors are. It's a very tough job market in the UK, especially for immigrants. They find it really hard. So like I'm together with you guys. Like I'm gonna join the unemployment pool soon. Yeah, but yes. Anything else? Anything else? No. I just wanted to say, like, even I did a podcast before. I did an Ink Talks podcast with my ex, and like I stopped doing that for almost a year now. I think by now almost a year, and it was quite tough when I was like speaking to this camera. I have this unconscious nervousness that's like tickling my heart, like oh, like something bad could happen and all that. But I'm glad at this point. 45 minutes I shared three topics, and yeah, I'm feeling good. And yes, I hope that was something that is interesting, that you guys enjoyed. I mean, the main point about this podcast might not be finding solutions, it's just we are sharing the path we are on. It's not basically like kind of like it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to be not okay. Like our Gen Z pathway now, we're adulting and all this. It's confusing, but I just want to let people know that we are not alone in this. Yeah. So basically like this podcast will mainly be interviews. Only the first one that I wanted to introduce myself and then tell about like what I'm going through right now. After this, the next episode will be interviews. I have a few guests lined up to share their stories. But yeah, if you guys are interested to hear anything about me, any stories about me, feel free to comment below. Let me know, message me, email me, whatever. I would love to hear from you guys. But yes, other than that, thank you for listening. And if you truly enjoyed and you like this episode, I would really appreciate if you could just drop me a review on any of the podcast platform that you're listening from. And even better, if you can, please drop a 5-star review. That would really help me a lot. Help boost this podcast to more visibility and all. And yeah, if you're commenting, you're dropping a comment, like a full review, feel free to drop your social media handle, and I will personally go and message you and thank you. And obviously we can have a full conversation and everything. And yeah, if you really like this, please share it to your friends, your family, share it to anyone. Or if you can, just share this podcast onto your social media platform, feel free to share there. Tag me as well. I will personally, as I said, message you, and then I'll personally thank you, and I would love to have conversations with any of you. If you love to volunteer, either yourself to be a guest on this podcast, or your friends and all that, feel free, just to message us, and I would love to hear from you guys. And actually, I'm gonna create a form itself on the website just to allow people to just send in suggestions or volunteer themselves to be the guest. And today is Tuesday when I'm recording this podcast. Hopefully by Thursday, which is the date where I'll be uploading this episode, it'll be done. So you guys can, submit your suggestions there. So yes, thanks everyone for listening or watching, and hope you guys have a good rest of the day. So see you next week. Bye. Remember to subscribe to get notified as new episodes comes out weekly, and please share the link of this podcast to anyone you think would enjoy it. This is Andrew Kuan from the Journey at 00's podcast.